So ART30 is starting today, and yeah, a couple of people have come back to me with questions, so I thought I'd share some insights with you that might be helpful to get you set up to make the most out of this mission and to make it as easy as possible, because that's what we like here. So the first one is to think about choosing for yourself some sort of simple daily practice. You know, we're not aiming for like massive, in-depth, time-consuming projects that will take all day to do here for this. That's not what we're aiming for. So it's something that you can do, you know, quite simply. So think about, you know, an exercise that you could repeat in variations, or something that you could explore, a theme, a material, a technique, or, you know, something that you'd just like to build up some practice on, or something that you'd like to play with. You know, keep it simple. And number two is kind of related to that. It's to think about how you can make what you're doing small so that it fits into your life easily. You know, this wants to be something that takes probably, you know, no more than 10 or 20 minutes, unless you've got like all the time in the world on your hands. If you're retired or furloughed or something and you've got lots of time, then of course think about something that will take longer. But for most of us, you know, a short activity for 10 or 20 minutes is great. That's all we need for this. Because the stretch that we're doing here is thinking about frequency. That's what we're building up. That's how we're challenging ourselves. And we don't need to challenge ourselves in 2 dimensions at the same time. So yeah, pick something small, I would recommend. And number 3 is to use what you learned. If you did the Get Set Create challenge, then you'll should have some ideas about how to set yourself up with a simple daily practice. If you've got notes or whatever, if you did the action step sheets, you can go back over those and use those to help you get set up. And if you didn't take part in Get Set Create a couple of months back, it was March, we did it in the group, then I'm now sharing it as a self-led course on my website, so you can catch up on that now if you'd like to. And I will put a link below if you'd like to look at more information about that. Okay, number 4, I would recommend that you track your progress. This can seem a bit geeky and kind of administrative and not very appealing, but it's something I've been trialing in my version of this mission, and I'm really finding it's helpful, because even on those days when you feel like you're not doing very much or you haven't got very far, you can see what you've done. You know, you can see the record building up, and you have a sense of what you've achieved, which otherwise might be invisible. So it's really useful to see that building up, I think. So I would really recommend it. And I have shared a tracker if you'd like to use that. You know, it's a simple sheet you can download and print and just tick off the days, and you can see yourself progressing then. And related to that is number 5, and number 5 is about rewards. So I don't know, it sounds a bit primary school perhaps, but this comes from psychology and kind of habit building work and research into this. And it's been shown that it really helps if you're trying to develop a new skill or habit, if you make it appealing by giving yourself some sort of reward if you do it. And the reward needs to be like straight away. You don't have one big reward at the end for doing the 30 days. You need a reward every day you do it. And ideally something that you can reward yourself with each time, you know, straight away after you've done your art. And it doesn't have to be, you know, something expensive or complicated, or, you know, it doesn't have to be cake or whatever. It can just be moving, you know, a stone from one jar to another so that you can see that you've done it. Or it could be, I mean, I've shown you, you know, my stars are famous now. But yeah, I'm using these gold stars that I ordered off the internet. They were very cheap, but they're quite satisfying. And every time I get a star, that's my reward. So that's number 5. Number 6 is to build a community and use that for your own accountability. And, you know, it inspires other people if you share their work. If you share your work, then they can see what you're doing, and that inspires them to take action. And also, by sharing your own work, they can, you know, encourage you and cheer you on and give you feedback if you'd like it. So it's a great way of building connection. And it's another one thing that's been shown scientifically, that if you're part of a group that's doing what you're aiming to do, then that makes it normal to do that thing, and that makes it easier. Whereas if nobody you know is doing what you want to do, then you feel like a bit of a freak, and that makes it much harder. So build a community, use it, and share your work here in the group. I recommend at least once a week. You can do it daily if you like, and certainly I'll be giving out the gold stars to anybody who does, so you get an extra reward if you share. Okay, so number 7 is to start today if you can. So today is the official launch of the mission, so I'm encouraging everybody to start from today if you can. So if you start now, today or in the next couple of days, then you'll be with a larger group of people who are all doing it with you, and you'll have that sense of the whole group, the community doing it together, which is helpful, I think. So do start today if you can. But I will say this is not a time-limited activity. I'm not setting a deadline and taking it down at the end of a certain amount of time. So if you need to start next week or next month because you're moving house or somebody's ill or for any reason, then I'd encourage you to think about whether you can squeeze even 2 minutes of art into your life wherever you are now. But if you really need to start later, then you can start later if you need to. But just be aware that the group is starting now, so that will be a source of support now. Okay, and number 8 is to think about how you manage your time. So the mission is that you do 30 days. They don't have to be consecutive. They do have to be within 60 days. So the tip is to make sure that you don't miss more than one day in a row. Miss one day, life happens, it's unfortunate. We get back tomorrow and we start, pick it up again. If you miss 2 days in a row, it starts to be the habit to miss days. So that makes it harder to keep your momentum going. So yeah, I have set the 60-day deadline, and that's 60 days from whenever you start. But I encourage you to, as I say, not miss more than one day in a row. And perhaps we could even say, well, let's have a little race and see who can complete the 30 days with the least number of missed days. Somebody might be able to do it in 30 or just miss a handful of days. Let's see how quickly we can get to that goal. Okay, and number 9 is just to do something. It doesn't have to be a complicated thing. Just give yourself permission to play with your materials, permission to do something, even if it's not perfect. Just experiment, try things out, and have fun with it. That's what we're about with this. And number 10 is to commit, and commit publicly, because then, I don't know about you, but certainly for me, if I've committed publicly to doing something, then it's much more likely that I will follow through, because I have that sense that somebody's waiting for me to do it. So I encourage you to commit, and sign up in the group. It's a very simple process. It's just a comment on a post to say what you're going to do and when you're starting, so that we can kind of see that you've started and cheer you on. And you'll find the post that you do that on at the top of the sort of pile in the Get More Creative group. I pinned it to the top, so you should be able to find it there easily. Okay, so that's your 10 tips. So think simple daily practice, pick something small, use what you learned in Get Set Create, track your progress, give yourself a reward immediately, build the community, don't miss more than one day, give yourself permission to play and just do something, and commit publicly. So hopefully some of those will be useful to you. Do let me know if one is seems more helpful to you than another, and I'll see you on the registration post. See you there. Bye for now.